Making herbs on the stove is very easy. You just want to follow the next steps. First, take the contents of 1 bag of herbs and put the entire thing into a pot. Following the instructions for how much water to add, you want to add, usually it's about 6 cups of water, but your instructions will be specific how much water you need to add. You do want to make sure that the water is enough to cover all of the herb material in your pot. Once you've added your herbs and the prescribed amount of water, first you want to let them sit for about an hour. That's going to allow all of the herbs to swell and absorb the water, and so when they cook, they're going to be steeping better into the pot. Next, you put the pot on the stove and you want to turn it up with high heat and wait for it to come to a boil. Now that the herbs and the liquid have come to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down to low and cover with a lid. Set a timer to allow the herbs to simmer, and that is going to be the amount of time that's prescribed on your instruction sheet. Once your herbs have cooked for the specified amount of time, you want to turn off the heat and allow them to steep for an additional 1 hour. Once your herbs have cooked for the prescribed amount of time, you want to turn off the heat and allow them to steep for an additional half an hour to 1 hour. That time will be prescribed for you on your instructions. Once that hour is complete, then you're going to want to strain your herb liquid. I recommend straining it into a large bowl. That's the easiest way to get the herb material in. Once you're done straining your herbs, the leftover herb material can go into the garbage or the compost. You may want to strain your herbs both into the large bowl, into a smaller container in the sink, just so that you make a little bit less mess. The final step is getting your herb tea into a glass container that you can use to store in the fridge. I like to use the help of this to get it all into the bottle. Then the most important thing that you can do in the herb process is make sure that this cools down very quickly. One thing that will help your herbs to cool down quickly is if you put the bottle into a bowl, adding some ice cubes and water. This will drop the temperature of your herbs very quickly, and then you can store it in the fridge. When you start to take your herbs, you do want to pour yourself a cup and reheat them to take them warm. When you're going to take your herbs, what you want to do is fill up a cup with your dosage. We typically prescribe about a cup twice a day, but your specific instructions will be on your instructions paperwork. I've placed this mug into a saucepan that has about half full of water, about up to here. I'm going to take this entire pot and put this on the stove. Reheating the herbs this way means that we're not directly putting a lot of the herb liquids and affecting it with heat right on the pan. You'll know that your herbs are warm and ready when the cup that you're using starts to sort of jiggle in the water and makes a little bit of a sound, or when the water outside of the cup starts to have some light bubbles. This is a great method to use to heat up your herbs, and when they're done, you can take it out and have your dose.